by the way, to the guy to Debenic in the chat. All right, guys, welcome. It's game number 2 of the Arabia 1v1 Invitational series between Fire and Dogao in Group B, with Dogao taking the first game in the Huns for it. It's now to see if Fire can try and claw a game back, as it's now actually going to be, of course, 3-pick hidden cities, and they both pick Britain, so we've got a Britain's War on hand for game number 2. It's no longer surprising, I don't think, these days. Generally, it's been pretty much now sussed that everyone likes to pick Britons generally, or Celts, in this matchup. Sometimes we see Mongols, but I always feel like I see Britons more often than not. So, of course, we've got TyRanT Fire in the blue here. And let's have a look at this map so far. It's got, well, some pretty nice back berries. Yeah, that's the key. That's the key of the map for sure. No, he's got some backstone to go to, which is actually all right. He's got some woodland to the left. Of course, this is desert Arabia, so it's got some nice oases. So making those woodlines extremely interesting. He's actually got another beautiful woodline to the south of TC to the right hand side, where his main goal is with another huge woodline. God, the RNG on that. I never get that on just a plain old Arabia. Lucky man. Anyway, so put a lumber camp down there already. There's well, the main gold there, secondary gold, also not too far away, and it's third gold, all in a pretty, not too far away. But the problem is, though, is that they're all in sort of basically one spot. Especially in Britain's, when you've got those such long-range units, that you can just sit here basically with like +3 crossbows, and you're pretty much hitting every gold. So if Fire just cannot take the map control, or is under a lot of pressure in general, I'm talking like a forward maybe from Dogao on the front, could cause a lot of issues here. So that's a bit of a weakness of this point. But at the same time, though, if he is able to get some decent map control from Fire's perspective, he can keep this relatively safe, because it's, you know, in terms of it's closer together, he doesn't have to go too far out to get those extra goals of his. Rest of the map, 2 balls in the front there, and also secondary stone to the left-hand side there as well. When I look at Dogao's map, though, he's actually got some lovely backward. Like, what is this? Like, this should be Desert Arabia. This should be like that. Like, on all your woodlines. I should be seeing no wood, but anyway, we've got a nice woodline here from Dogao at the back where his berries are too. He's got a secondary gold as well to the back of the map there, close to that woodline too. He actually could put a TC right here, and that would also sort of cover the gold quite nicely if he felt like it later on. It's also got a beautiful back gold. Like, that's really nice and far at the back. The only issue, though, of course, is the fact that you can't get that full saturation. It's not terrible. It's only 2 piles that are at the edge. That's all right. The edge of the map. Got a tongue twister. But it's still pretty darn safe. You can do some nice balls if he feels like, if he wants to keep it a little bit safer. And everything should be pretty nice there. He's got the main stone a bit further out from the TC, as he takes that first ball, by the way. And his secondary stone not terribly far away from the main one. And the last gold, ladies, is actually a little bit further out over here. So, interesting map from Dogao. It's a lot more open, actually, I think, than Fire's is. But he has a pretty nice gold. His wood's looking pretty decent. He's putting a house there, interestingly enough. I'll be interested what Dogao will be going with in this game. Of course, both players have got 4 in the wood. We could be seeing Drush FC crossbows. That's, you know, not as like unsurprising for Britons, of course, making use of that extra 1 range in the castle age that you're given. But at the same time, though, as well, you could also do man-at-arms forward with archers, or you can't count out the fact that in Britons, of course, that extra archer range, the extra production from speed from the archer ranges adds up to quite a bit. So don't count out a feudal play. But I think, judging by the fact of this house being built here by Fire, I feel like he's going to put a barracks somewhere along here or here. Probably here, I think. Or here. Here. There we go. Yeah. I can put a barracks down. So Fire's going to go for a Drush, of course. Wants to keep this area nice under lockdown, of course. And put some archer ranges along here or here, whatever. Basically, just make sure the main gold is protected. And, of course, the wood lines as well. You can easily wall this section up too. But Dogao, however, has he got a barracks down? I don't see one. In fact, he's just taking that second board now. At the same time as Fire there. Just waiting for him to maybe put a barracks down. I think this might be the barracks villager we're looking for here. Currently a shepherd, but you'll bring down that fist, the white glove. That is his hand. There we go. Look, there we go. Slapping down that barracks. Dogao now having a little poke around, see what's going on inside Fire's base. Having a nice little assessment. Finding out all the strengths and weaknesses that he can try and use to his advantage. Actually, Fire finds another 2 sheep as well. The rest of it, I think that's the 2 sheep he was missing. So good for him. Got that extra 10 gold there from Dogao. He looks to try and make this militia any second now. And, well, Fire's already got 2 inside, waiting for that last one to be created. In fact, he's got the food and the gold for it. So I'm surprised he's not making it just yet. All important time. Okay, now he is, finally. There we go. He's getting that last one created before sending them out to try and do some harassment, of course. In the pathway, though, there are 2 wolves there. 3 wolves. Oh, God. If Fire sends this the wrong way, you just gotta pray he goes through this way. If he cuts through to here, this could cause a few issues, I think. I think he might be fine, though. It might actually be on Dogao's problem, really. We'll see. I really want to see the wolves get a bit of action. A bit of Gaia. Who does not like some of that? Fire now getting the loom. And actually, Fire clicks up. He's gonna go for a man-at-arm play, maybe? Right, it's got 3 militias on the go, as he's already clicked up. Sending a few more villas out, probably towards another wood line. Meanwhile, though, it looks like Dogao is keeping his militia inside his barracks for some reason. He was a little bit later in creating it. Dogao knows where the drush is, though. He got a couple of jabs on it himself, so he knows whereabouts it is. Now sending a couple more onto gold here now. Fire finally, as he will probably transition into those archers, of course. I really want to see him get man-at-arms, of course. We've been seeing actually a lot more man-at-arms, as I said earlier in the stream. And there we go. Could be looking for the fight of the century. Okay, I can't do a boxing announcement. I give up on that one. Keeping that Bill by, maybe a little bit idly. Maybe he wants to try and get into the fight with that villager. It's actually quite funny. I don't know if Fire's noticing this or not. Thinking, oh, I'm actually just dragging this Bill out. This Bill's being very idle. Okay, now he's going to build a house. Just stuff it. I'm just going to build a bloody house instead. Looks like Fire's being a little bit patient, though. Fire doesn't have the gold yet to get the man-at-arms upgrade. Does need 40 gold. I think he's just going to mine it manually. In fact, he's just... Hey? Not building a mining camp? What is Fire up to? Well, Fire's actually engaging right now into the drush itself. The scout from Dogao's does go down. Now he's getting involved. The villager of Dogao's gets involved too. A couple more are coming into the fight, I think. Oh, but look at this, though. It looks like a pretty decent result from Fire, though. Takes out the scout. Takes out all the militias, too. And now looking to try and pick up a villager here. We'll try and get away with the scout, though. Gonna go try and go for the kill. Oh, loses his scout in the process. But the villager will go down. Now, that probably was, in all terms, because he got the scout of Dogao's as well. Pretty decent trade, actually. Got the fill out of it. Very nicely played. And actually, his militia is still alive, too. Stop the man-at-arms, my friend. And it's got an archer range coming down. Skirmish just being created. The second one also being popped down now, too. So he probably looks to get another 10 gold in. Probably just going to get 50 gold and get the fletching when he makes the blacksmith, of course, later on. As those skirmishes now start to pop out. Dogao, however, is completely walled, I think. Yes, he is. He's looking pretty safe. Especially the fact that when you've got skirmishes against those walls, they're not getting any time soon, quite frankly. That's not fun. But Dogao is up much later, though. Has he got the resources to be doing an FC, though? No. Not really. I feel like it's like a semi-flush FC probably coming out from Dogao, or it's just kind of like one of those, he's in that in-between zone. It's probably one of the worst places to be. Hasn't got enough resources to do an FC, so he kind of has to commit a little bit to the feudal age, knowing that, well, Fire is definitely committing to the feudal age here, as you can clearly see. Skirmish has been thrown out onto the field too. But it's actually quite good for Dogao here in terms of the fact that he is going skirmishes, just because of the fact that he can't break through these walls anytime soon. Even double palisades coming out as well. Blacksmith being popped down too from Dogao. So it looks like he's just probably not going to make any army actually. He's just going to try and click up as soon as he can. Just keep making villages and just wait for the food eco to start building up. Fire probably going to start maybe sending a villager out to try and build a tower, I think. If he really wants to try and break on through. Now the fletching being done here. Actually, interestingly enough, Dogao actually opts to make a couple of skirmishes back at base. So that last militia there also got picked off. Skirmish is going to start chipping away at this palisade wall, but as we can clearly see, it's going to take a lot of time to break through that. And even then, Dogao can just quickly wall behind it if he needs to. But he is spending a lot of time and resources making these extra walls. I think, anyway. Well, it was. I don't know. It's got these foundations laid out, but no villager behind it all. Now he's building an archery range, but it's actually going to get denied here a little bit by these, or just basically harassed from these skirmishes of fire here. Now with the fletching too. I think he actually can get it actually created, but basically he's just going to block the space and just make sure that fire can't get in. Dogao, not too far away from clicking out right now. 500 food. Fire is, well, he's only on 200 food. A little bit further behind, but not terribly. So that arch range will be built eventually, but will he actually lose a village in the process? I really hope not, just because of the fact that and there we go. Yeah, he's just going to rotate those villagers quite nicely there and just put them onto a much safer objective, which is get that eco up and going. 99, there we go. And the outrange, and get a nice cheeky repair as well at the same time. Why not? A couple of skirmishes being built. Still, oh, and a little bit of a wolf train coming out here from fire. A couple of walls got tagged along the way. They'll get dealt with here. Wheelbarrow now being done by fire. It's just build. Oh, nothing worse than a couple of wolves or jaguars being a pest. Actually, looks like he actually finally got down to building up the rest of those walls too, on the south side of his base. So basically, what we can now tell you is that Dogao's base is under full lockdown. There's no way in hell that those skirmishes are going to get in anytime soon. So at the meantime, Fire looks to be basically preparing himself on the fact that he knows that Dogao will probably click up a little bit earlier than him. So he's trying to do some walls up with those houses and palisades. On the left-hand side, on the front here, he's got his archer range. It's still probably a little bit open. Yeah, just here. But I think he will get that all sorted out. And there might be a gap here somewhere, just because under the law of AOC, there's always a hole. Fire though, gonna start prodding away at those palisade wall. Dogao now getting wheelbarrow. He's actually still quite far. I generally thought he would just go and try and click up as soon as he can, but now it looks like Fire might click up earlier. This is just right. It's just getting stupid. But and the reason being actually is the fact that Dogao. Look at this. Dogao is sending 5 villagers to basically make sure Fire doesn't get into his base. That's a lot of commitment, really, to make sure it doesn't get in with all of these house walls and just general double palisading and all this business. Making a few skirmishes of his own when he's not actually using them. I'm surprised. I maybe thought it would do archers, and just because of the fact that he can then send them out and try and do some raiding if he can. And in fact, that's what he's actually done. He's actually got a couple of archers mixed into the skirmisher lineup. And he's now going to try and find a hole in the wall. And oh, there's a hole in the wall in between those two houses. Oh, Fire. Oh, Fire, buddy. You've just let into yourself a world of trouble. It probably won't kill many villagers just because of the fact that there's too many skirmishes in this mix. But it will do a lot of eco damage for sure. It's going to get stuck right in between this woodline and the gold here. And there's actually not much to defending it. There is probably a couple of skirmishes and archers here, which might be able to deal with it just about okay. But it's just annoying. It's like one vill may get picked up here. Go on, kill it. Oh my god, 1 HP. Oh, and it gets picked up at the end. That's how excited I'm getting over 1 kill, just because this game's been pretty passive since the drush. Looks like Dogao will probably just get basically pushed away, as Fire is the first one to click up to the castle age right now. Gonna get 23 minutes. Dogao, meanwhile though, he himself a little bit further behind. He's got plenty of wood in the bank actually. Might seem to drop an extra range or 2 before he clicks up. definitely got the resources for it. You can get a nice little army going. So far, it's definitely a nice little significant uptime advantage there. I guess the gold mining, and there's a few more archers being taken out from the Dogao here. Ready to try and do some more raiding. This hole actually fixed? No, I don't think it has actually. Fire is slowly getting to it though. He's using this villager just to slowly get around to fixing the job, and there we go. He will finally patch that up. Nice one there, Fire. Dogao now click up to castle age, but look at that time difference, a good minute and a half nearly. And in AOC terms, that's quite a big difference. As yeah, look, just that, oh my god, it's disgusting how much wood's been invested just to keep Dogao safe. Could argue the same here from Fire as well, but considering there's wasn't layer of palisade behind it. But anyway, though, Dogao's going to try and sneak on in. And this time, with this amount of archers, you can definitely start one-shotting some villagers. I think that's enough. Or at least two-shot, anyway. Alright, yeah, it's two-shot. It's still pretty effective, though. So now you're just going to start raiding the eco of Fires. 2 vills go down. Could go for 3. But he's slowly going to get basically chipped off from Fire's own army. So he's just going to resign to that fact and try and micro as best he can. Try and pick up that 3rd vill. Go for it. Oh my god, this time the 1 HP Bill will survive. Oh, the dream is over. As Fire now hits the castle age crossbow, and the bodkin arrows now starts to come through. As he looks to try and force his way out. Look at the military difference right now, 24 for 8. And the Vil count though, holy cows. 34 to 43. Now I know of course Dogao is still going up to castle age, so that number will of course go down a little bit, but he lost a good couple of vills there as well. That's a bit of a difference there. Now Fire's starting to get elite skirmisher upgraded too. He's got a big, significant military advantage here. But Dogao's got a huge bank of resources, 800 wood. He puts down a 3rd archer range. We might see a siege workshop straight away, and maybe even a university, who knows. Of course, Britain's got very cheap TCs. Might see one coming up here by the gold, or maybe one here on the other side of this wood line. We'll see what he goes for. Crossbow, bodkin, bowsaw. Yeah, pretty standard stuff. Yes, university pops down instead, actually. Not going to go for the siege workshop. Of course, in the Britain Wars, they do get out. Oh, that's an interesting TC. Okay, he goes for TC like I thought he would on the left-hand side, but I'm not sure about that. Yeah, he doesn't go for it. Yeah, he declines it. Instead, he builds a siege workshop like I thought he would, actually. At least I'm getting... Actually, that was actually spot on. I said TC, siege workshop, and university. Some godlike maneuvers coming out of here anyway. Looks like, though, Fire's trying to punch on through these palisades. Because basically, right now, they're now pretty much redundant. Of course, with the bodkin arrow and the crossbow being upgraded. Pretty weak now. One vil does get picked off. As Mang now starts to pop out. Oh, sorry, 1 second. So right now that the crossbows and the least skirmishers now start to come on through. Let's see what they can try and pick off here. They're going to meet some resistance though. These crossbows. One actually does get picked off. Now the mangonel does pop out. I'm not too sure that Fire knows about this mangonel. That's already out. I think he knows there's a siege workshop, but definitely the mangonel until now. Can the mangonel get a good shot away? Oh, no. We'll do some decent zoning work against the skirmishers. But Fire has to pay attention. Can he get a good shot off? Ooh, actually decent splash damage. Didn't kill any units, but you can see a lot of those crossbows are weak. So good job there from Dogao. Keeps his base nice and safe. Loses only 1 villager and the crossbow. Does get some good splash damage done. Ideally you want those kills, but hey, could be worse. A 3rd TC now also popping up onto the gold, like I said. So now the ballistics now starting to come on through. Fire himself, has he got 3 TCs up and running? He's got 1, 2. Where's that 3rd TC, my friend? I don't think he's actually got a 3rd TC, so interesting. A little fight trying to come out of this right now, but unfortunately a bit of a pathing issue with those mangonels meant that Fire had a good amount of time just to start running away. Splits up the army though, sends the crossbows up on the left-hand side to try and do some... Ooh, okay, decent mangonel shot, takes out 3. Oh, you just want to have that money shot where you just take out like 20 skirmishers and you just... Oh, that feeling feels good, man. Feels good, man. Oh. Fire trying to pick some villas off, trying to do some harassment where he can. Same time though, Dogao's looking to try and get some blood of his own. So he gets 2 mangonels, actually a little bit on their own. The rest of the army split up completely to go down the bottom hand side, maybe try and punch through his palisade wall, and raid actually on this woody cove over here. As Fire right now looks to go around the other side, just try and find another way in. And with this palisade actually very weak, and I think that's definitely a gap there too. Those crossbows can get in and try and do some damage, but in fact they're gonna just have a little dance about there whilst they have an idea of what they're gonna do. What happened to those 2 mangonels? I think they lost. Did he lose those 2 mangonels? Ah, they're over here instead. Looks like he sent them sort of back and then sort of on the way to try and regroup. I don't know. Looks like though, the gal's gonna go straight towards the base of Fire, and actually this main gold looking a little bit precarious. But just in the nick of time, looks like Fire's army will come back and tell him to get out of here. And now Mangonel's about to come out as well. A couple of ground attack shots, but he's completely sandwiched actually. Now 2 Mangonel shots fly out. The skirmish doing some good damage. 1 Mangonel does go down. Can he pick the second one off? He's trying to get out as best he can, but he's losing everything. Doesn't even matter. Now the Mangonel does a 1-for-1 trade. Oh, not a good fight for Dogao, really. He just lost most of his crossbow army in a trade of a 1-for-1 Mangonel. He did kill 2, to be fair, but Mangonel shot of his own comes in. Oh, doesn't get the damage done. And with that 8 range as well, just picking away at this Mangonel. 1 more shot flies in. Oh, okay, it kills over 5 skirmishers. That's alright. At least he gets a shot away, to be fair. But he has to make sure those 4 crossbows do get away with it, otherwise they're going to get picked off completely. And I think they actually are. Oh, okay, that's a bit sloppy there. He doesn't want to lose all his army like that. And he's going to get flanked on the other side, so this is all dead. Fire just going to get the horse collar. I mean, why not? It's not important. Still only 2 TCs though, and it's starting to reflect actually here on the economy. 66 bills, 75, but the military, 41 to 18. Dogao is definitely on the back foot. He's mining a ton of stone. As he makes a couple more archery ranges, now starting to boost up that production. Still sticking to the actual crossbow mangonel route, not looking to try and make any elite skirmishes. Interesting what Dogao might do. I'm not sure, might want to put a TC maybe onto the stone itself to keep it safe, to continue mining it, or maybe just try and just get a castle as soon as he can. Curious as to what his plan is. Looks like Fire's going to start laying siege in very shortly. He's got the Mangonel starting to come across, and he's got this hill here on the front, which he likes to target and keep this pressure on. Now it's 3 Mangonels here from Dogao though, into the 2 of Fire. That one just a little bit late. At the same time though, sorry, I was looking at something. At the same time, though, another batch of crossbows here on the left-hand side trying to do some harassment, but it looks like Dogao's going to chase this off. He will retreat back into the safety of those Mangonels. As now he looks to try and pressure on in, but these could be at that depth. There's 3 Mangonels. They fly on in. 1 shot does connect on 2. Oh, this is a suicide run here from those crossbows. Going to try and pick a couple of villages on the way out. 1 does go down, but those crossbows are doomed. There's not much you can do really else now. The Mangonel will basically chip this away. I hope Dogao doesn't send all of his army though. It's a bit pointless. He can't use any more villas after this. Oh my god, he actually picked another villa off. Alright. Doing as best he can with those 3 crossbows he has left, and they will get finally picked off in the end. Up at the top though, there's like another denying happening here. This is well played by Fire. Again, his huge army that he has is actually paying dividends here. He's going to deny his TC. Dogao probably wants to delete it before he loses it. Will he lose it all? Oh, come on. He lost it. Okay. It's a fair amount of stone lost and a little bit of wood lost. Not exactly ideal. Of course, Britain's having cheaper TCs, not the biggest loss in the world, but the stone's a bit important, I think, in this part of the game. But Dogao's first to click up right now. He's going to get the elite skirmisher. And this is because this is where it's starting to pay off now. The fact that he didn't make any elite skirmishers, which means that, you know, the food count will be banked up a little bit easier for him too. And he's been on 3 TCs for much longer than Fire, who's probably only got his 3rd TC up now, I think. Yeah, 3rd TC was up like a little bit earlier probably. And the 4th one probably not too far away in the future. But generally speaking, 89, actually 89 to 83, Dogao actually lost. Okay, well, that's just turned it on its head. He did click up a bit earlier, which will affect the Vil count numbers, but still, he's still ahead for Fire, which is very nice for him. He looks to try and pick off a nice army here, but there's too many numbers here, I think, from Dogao. Now the Mangonels start to come in for the fight. Fire will go back, but this uptime is so huge right now. There's a good minute difference here, and he can punish this. But once again, Fire is coming back, this time with skirmishers to try and deny his TC. Dogao's desperate to get this gold, as you can clearly see. And now this skirmisher army is actually going to pick off these crossbows. And actually even a couple of Mangonels are starting to line up as well. This could be an interesting trade. As the first Mangonel shot flies in. If Dogao's not paying attention, he could lose all these Mangonels. Oh no, this is bad. Loses 1 Mangonel for free. Now Mangonel dodgeball is happening right now. It looks like he will lose, well, 2 for 1 currently, but this one will also go down very shortly. But that was not great there from Dogao. He will actually end up being a 2 for 2 trade, sort of. But this is pretty weak, this Mangonel. 1 volley of those skirmishes will take it out. But I think Fire values keeping these alive more than trying to go for it. And again, look at this. It's so nice and Fire. Drag away the entire army. And what's back again? Another batch of crossbows. But this TC will be finally up. And now he can claim his reward being that gold pile. Imperial Age upgrade is now in. The Arbalest and the Bracer is up and being created. But a castle there on the front there from Fire was a beautiful placement, actually. Covering the wood, covering the gold. Helps him to, you know, basically start expanding out with some more archery ranges too. Beautiful castle. I mean, you could argue he could be on the hill here, but it's not really serving as much purpose. He really wants to get this gold under his control. You might see another castle up on here later on, or here. Maybe here, actually. If he can. But now, looks like the tables are turned. Dogao here with 46 military, now taking a little bit lead in that one. Build numbers actually pretty even. Surprisingly. Dogao now getting a hand cut. Doesn't try and force an engagement here. So having that extra upgrade, of course, the extra damage and the extra range, starting to pick up all those units from Fire, losing quite a few actually. Can't fight it just yet. He is now, of course, in the Imperial Age. He's going to get the Bracer, waiting for the Arbalest to be done. Has he actually got the resources for it? He could, yeah, of course he has, yeah. But he's going to get the chemistry. Still no Arbalest upgrade. Maybe just going to abandon Arbalest and start making longbows? Really? With that amount of crossbows, I would... Okay, there we go. There's the up. I was about to say, I would find that a really weird option. Okay, now I'm building another castle. A little bit more defensive, but of course, again, it's a decent enough placement. It's not ideal, though, because, again, it isn't fully covering this gold. And, again, these Arbalests with that 11 range, or 10 range at this point, with the Yeoman, it'll be 11, could just easily start harassing that gold. So I would have liked it to be placed like, on here, because it will protect it. But it's the best that you could do in that situation, of course. That's right now, actually, losing a couple of units of Dogao as the least skirmishers get stuck in. And now Mangonel flies in. Can he get the shot he wants? Oh, gets just 1. Disappointing. Tries to try and pick up Mangonel, though. Playing with fire. Playing with fire. Now, that's funny. But look at this, though. Inside, of course, Fire's base. A few Arbalests snuck on through. And picked up a good number of villagers here. Dogao is just laying waste to these, but it's okay. Looks like Fire will clean this up, but how much cost will this be, though? How many villagers will go down? A good number, it seems. Now it's 93 to 105. But the army will get cleaned up, though, which is nice. Both players now getting ring archer armor, too. Not sure how effective that ended up really being for Dogao. At this stage in the game, I don't think 10 vills is really the deal breaker. Well, it's not the heavy plow. That's pretty big. So 136 to 133. This is very even currently. Dogao slightly lacking on the military numbers. He's now going to get a trebuchet out. As he knows it's a castle zone, looks to try and start working on that, laying siege. Don't laugh at your own puns. I quite like it. Dogao now getting chemistry. Cat Bram's starting to come out from fire too. Probably wants to maybe get a couple more trebuchets out before looking to try and make an offensive move here. At the same time though, just like a few skirmishes trying to do some raiding, but that castle there from Dogao once again. Very nice placement. It's going to cover this entire eco here, something from getting on in. And of course, we'll cover the gold too, so very well placed. And to some degree this goal as well. Not entirely, but I wonder if he scouts it out, I wonder. Meanwhile though, on the left hand side, getting shooed away once more. Chemistry being done. Siege Workshop is up and ready. Still, once again, despite all this, it's been slightly still quite passive in this Imperial Age. I think they're both trying to prepare and I think trying to assert some sort of map control, I think. But it looks like Fire has got a big army here on the left-hand side, and with the Galvian's TC on his woodline here, could lose a good couple of vills here. Hasn't got enough capacity to basically keep these all safe. He's got to do something about it. I don't know where he's losing vills, by the way. I'm hearing his death, his vill death. One left by the stone pile, of course, and one by the TC. Over here on the right-hand side, it looked like a small skirmish did erupt, and it kind of looks like that fire took a bit of a loss there, but nothing really significant at this point. In fact, I'm more curious on the left-hand side here, where the bulk of Fire's army is doing some good damage. It's actually got a decent score lead too here, as well, military are definitely in his advantage, and also on the villagers too. Still waiting to see what the trebuchet is actually sort of moving out. And all these villagers here in this entire woodline just got picked apart. This TC's going to get laid to waste too as well. Not looking great. The good thing is though is that all this extra gold here is in Dogao's favour, which will be very useful in this later game. As right now he's going to start looking to do some damage of his own. With that castle they can't really do much damage to the woodline. If he sits here he can try and do some damage onto the gold. So this won't be very successful at this current rate. Yeah, now he has to back off. Over here, up the top though, another engagement once more, but plenty of elite skirmishers here from Dogao, and he will push this back very easily. Even being downhill. But up at the top though, it looks like Cat Ram starting to move in. It looks like destroy the TC very easily, and the rest of the villagers that were hiding in there are being called out and being punished. As this castle now looks a little bit under some sort of pressure here as the Cat Rams look to move in. Only two additionally look like the rest of them getting involved too. It's like, hey guys, I want to take this castle out. Mr. Gal now getting Cat Ram himself a little bit late actually. Perhaps a little bit slow to respond. Trebuchet now unpacked, ready for some sort of defense here, but look how much arrow that arrow fire I soak up, especially where it's mainly skirm and arbalest. It's just disgusting. Trying to repair it desperately as best he can. It actually looks like Fire trying to take care of this. While the villagers repairing the castle. No upgrades in the castle, no masonry or anything like that. And these castles are looking a little... This castle's looking a little bit doomed, I think. There's just too many Cat Rams and these... the ranged units just don't do anything to them. But this castle's doing a lot of damage onto these arbalests. They're getting slowly picked off one by one. But this castle will go down for sure. Yep, it's a goner. And with only the cost of a couple of Cat Rams, it's a very nice clean result there from Fire. As Fire now looks to push through the middle here, Dogao is under a little bit of pressure now. Yeoman now being done, so that extra range is going to be a big help. As you can see, now 5 plus 6. Boom. Skirmish is pushing out the front as well. His Abelet's got to basically just back off. Can't take that engagement. And Fire is really well defended. He's got his castles in key positions. And at this point, it's extremely difficult for Dogao to basically take advantage of. I thought he might be able to get a couple of trebs out nice and early and start pushing down that first castle, but perhaps being a little bit too slow on that one, I feel. Fire is slowly just Gonna start pushing out right now with those cap rams. I think he wants to take out this next castle. It's just nice play by Fire. He's taking this objective route where he's just like, I want to get rid of these castles. Like, this is not really much of a key area anymore. He wants to take this top bit here. And this fight, I am not sure why Fire is taking this. No, sorry, Dogao is taking this fight. This is not the best. And now here comes the ram train. Next destination, castle bound. Not. I need to get a life. And still, the skirmish is doing a nice job here, just starting to pick off these arbalests. Now the ram's starting to get involved too, and we'll be soaking up a good amount of damage, but here is where it's really more important. Now sticking at the foot of the castle there too, stop those villagers repairing it, but a good couple of skirmishes there will kill those arbalests. But there are too many rams. Rams also having fire, taking care of it. Actually, the rams from Dogao too, as these skirmishes on this hill are just focusing down the rams too, which is kind of weird. But also arbalest there as well from fire. As this castle's slowly getting chipped down, villagers starting to get involved here to try and destroy the rams. But will it be done in time? Actually, I'm not too sure. Oh, there's too many rams, I think, and they're actually all on decent HP. As right now in the middle of this fight, just a body of like wood, basically. Let's just call it from the rams. But this small little hill here is so big, and Fire is just chipping away at these arbalests now. And Dogao is losing everything, I feel. And look at this, 62, 63, pretty much even numbers still on the military camp, but 22 idols on Fire. I need to sort that out, but in the end, really not too much of a difference. But he's still got some really good map control coming out. The castle did go down in the end, so he's just lost 2 castles. Big loss coming out there from Dogao. He's actually pop blocked at 171 over 170. Needs to get some houses going. Now TyRanT Fire is building a castle. Where's he building it? Just over here, actually. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Oh, my battery's lower than 10%. Alright. Well, the fight's still continuing. I could just sit here and just, like, look at the Twitch chat, because this fight is going forever. Just the skirmishes are so tanky against each other. Dogao, though, is starting to get scale binding armor, though, and as a reaction, he's going to go and start making some light cap here. It will deal with the rams actually okay at the foot of castles. Maybe he should have done a little bit earlier. But also the skirmishes would do quite well as well. Oh, maybe he's having also maybe a slight gold issue here. Yeah, he's struggling on gold in comparison to Fire. That's not fun. Looks like he may start to win this fight again. The rams can find a lot of nice... basically just soaking up a lot of damage coming out of this. Now he's going to get chain binding armor as these 2 more cap rams start to move in further. Dogao's trying to take the extra gold though, which he has been doing. But for how long can he keep that up though? That's the question. As this hill once more just clinging onto it, Fire as desperately as he can. Fire actually buying 300 stone just so he can put another castle down, it seems. On the bomb hand side, a few arbalests. Oh my god, that's an absolute massacre. Oh, Dogao. Oh, that's a lot of bills there. Nicely played there. That's a nice little cheeky raid. Looks like he will try and get cornered out there from the rest of those skirmishes, but that was a good raid. He will get out of that. Do any of them have relics? We'll have a little look, shall we? Well, no monastery is up actually from Dogao, and I doubt Fire's got a monastery up, but we'll have a look, shall we? In a second, as right now there is a forward castle being put down by Fire. And this is actually a much better placement than the original one he was planning up for. Like, that's okay, but this one's really nice. I'm going to take this gold off. It should also apply some pressure to this gold. And just, again, get a nice firm foothold on this plateau of this giant hill of this. And yeah, another siege workshop on the foot of this hill as well. It's now plate binding armor and forging coming out from Dogao too. Look at the army numbers now, 74 to 28. Dogao is slowly collapsing in on himself here. He's running out of steam. Now TyRanT Fire just going to reap. Look at the amount of gold he has. He actually does have a monastery with 1 relic. It looks like he just collected it actually. Finally. He's going to start backing away. A couple more cat rams queued inside there, it seems. Maybe he wants to think about getting a couple of onagers out. If he could get, maybe earlier on, maybe he could have got onager. Might have helped him out a little bit, but that's fine. I think you get picked off quite easily by the amount of Arbalest. But here come the light caps though. +4, +1. And this actually will clear out those skirmishes pretty well actually. Not too many Arbalests, so they can't just basically one-shot those light cap too easily. And also with the skirmishes up top here, make it for a nice combo here. As now they move in. One light cap does fall. But now they're getting stuck in, of course. Of course, with skirmishing a minimum range. Well, he backs off, actually. Unless he wants to try and take out those cap rams, it seems more of a priority. But he actually loses a lot of those light cap there. A few more do get sent in. Up at top, though. Again, just another whole batch of skirmishes of fire. There's a couple of cap rams there. Those forward siege workshops nicely played. Going to start pushing in on this TC. So he looks to now start harassing the main eco of Dogao's here. And now the army numbers, well, slightly recovering here for Dogao, but still I don't think not enough. Now forward siege workshop does come down. Hoardings coming out from fire. Wants to really buff up those castles. I like to see that. It's now Dogao. Oh! Dogao only getting heavy plan now. Okay. Fair enough. Fire's floating a ton of food. Yeah, what is the market price right now for this? Food sell 60. Jesus Christ, sell the food, man. Sell it away from your opponent. That's the main thing. Thing is, though, they go, oh my god, they're not patrolling in, and they're gonna get absolutely slaughtered. Oh god, that might be the game there. I think he just lost basically his entire army. Now he's down to 22. He's on 130 pop. Fire is practically maxed out here at 192. A few light cabs out here, but the castle they're protecting generally, it's really not really do much apart from just buy him a little bit of time here. And there we go. There's a GG from Dogao. Well played by Fire. Ooh, long game actually, to be fair. It was nice to see. Bit back and forth actually as well, but the problem for Dogao, I think he wanted to do a Drush FC honestly, but the problem is that he spent a lot of time walling for one thing. And then second of all, when he got up, it was like 400 food, 100 wood or so, and fire was already up really early. So Dogao was like, well, I gotta do something. So he kind of did semi-flush business, but it wasn't really a semi-flush, it was just like a drush flush, really. And didn't pay out that well at all because fire got up. And what was really weird, though, was that Dogao was on 3 TCs much earlier as well. I thought Dogao was playing the Castle Age quite well, but when he got to Imperial, I think it's a little bit too late because Fire's base was just so easy to defend with, really. The 2 castles he put down were excellent. I felt he provided a lot of cover. Everything else, you know, was far at the back of the base and very hard to get into. And also, I think the army numbers again, like Fire took some decent control as well later on in the late Castle Age. So really well played by Fire. Actually, good comeback. Now it makes it 1-1 as the resources come in, absolutely outstripped there by Fire. Yeah, not surprising at the same time though. 134 to 118. Yeah, there you go. That's the stats of the match. 378 kills, 267. With 84 largest army. That's a big number. Those are the scores on the doors.